It is time to grab your dose of compassion, share your story, and solve your anxiety and depression. Welcome to Keep Calm in a Crazy World with your host, Jodi Amon.
Hey everyone, welcome to Keep Calm in a Crazy World with me, Jodi Amon. I'm so happy to have you here. And those of you joining me on Facebook and those of you joining me and listening to the radio or watching later, I am thinking about you all, and I'm with you tonight, thinking about all the struggles you've had of this past week in Rochester, but all over the world. You know, everybody is stressed out because they, someone they love is sick. They're worried about them. They're struggling themselves. Things seem crazy in their lives. And so I just wanted to acknowledge and let y'all know that I know what that feels like. And I don't want you to, thank you. I don't want you to feel alone anymore. And that's why I do this radio show, so you could call in and talk to me if you want. You could ask me a question right on Facebook. Before I went live on the radio, I was showing my folks on Facebook my new office here, and it's fun. I filled it with beautiful colors because colors really lift us up. You know, there's something about having pretty colors around you that change things. It's like music. There's an energy of that stuff that sometimes, I guess, some colors have some baggage, and sometimes music has some triggers for people, but a lot of times it's like a clean energy transformation. Like music, just like at feng shui, they put what are those called? Wind chimes. They put wind chimes all over, and wind chimes change that negative energy to positive energy with no extra stress. There's no extra input or output. And so I like to do that with color and pretty things. You have pretty things around you. You have a neat and clean place that really helps your mood and helps you, because it's overwhelming to have clutter. It's overwhelming to look around and have things like kind of not done. But when you have some pretty things, even if it's used, most of my office is things I found at consignment shops. Or I love Craigslist too. So it doesn't have to cost a lot of money to have your place neat and have a couple pretty things around you full of color and have music or have some wind chimes to change that energy. Because we have energy coming at us and braiding us in all directions. And we know this now more than ever. You know, social media, there's a lot of negative stuff on there. There's a lot of positive stuff on there. Like me, come visit me at facebook.com/Jodi Amon Love. And on Instagram, I'm at Jodi Amon Love also. But there's so much negative. And so somebody asked me today, Barbara asked me on Facebook about sensitivity, about if you're an empath and what to do if you're sensitive and you feel other people's energy and it takes you down. And it happens to a lot of us. And so I think all of us are empaths. I really do. I feel like we all are. We all have that ability. Of course, there's some people that don't. They're more different than the rest of us. You know, it's not like some people are empathic. And if you don't know, empathic means you feel what other people feel. And so sometimes it's looked on sort of like an intuitive or psychic ability, like a clairsentient. Clair means like it's super, right? It's more than, regular physical sensing. When you touch somebody, you feel what somebody else feels. And it's a very real thing, but I don't think that some people are empathic. I think everybody is empathic, and there's some people who maybe aren't, because of something that blocks them from that. Like psychopaths or there's different, some people are indifferent, or there's just some little ability to be empathic to others. There are a lot of those people, but I think empathic is more in the normal range. It's not like some people are sensitive. And now this is really interesting because with this, there was a book came out about sensitivity. And I think in some ways it helped a lot of people because they're like, oh my God, this explains it. I understand why I feel this way. And this makes sense. But I think there was some hazards to this too. This movement of like we're sensitive. Because you think you're different than other people. If you're sensitive, you're different than other people. You're sensitive and you have more trouble in life because it's harder to go through life sensitive because you take on everyone's negativity. And there's a lot of negative around us. But we all do that. Our minds are connected, so we're all taking on the negativity of other people all the time. Some of us are more aware of it than others, but we all are. If we're in a room with someone who's negative, it's going to affect us. Definitely. And so if you identify yourself as empathic and think that you're sensitive and that you're vulnerable to this kind of thing, what do you think happens? You become more vulnerable to it or more afraid of it or you feel like there's something wrong with you sort of because you're different than other people. It bothers you and it doesn't bother other people. And it might seem like that, but you don't know what's going on in their heads. And it may be just as well bothering everybody, and they might have some tricks to undo it. They might have suffered in the past, but now they've figured out how not to take that into their heart, which I'm going to teach you tonight. And so it doesn't mean that you're different and you feel it and everyone else is fine. Most people act like they're fine all the time. Thank you for the hearts. Act like they're fine all the time and they're really not. Most people are suffering with insecurities or low self-esteem or something going on, some lack of confidence in some areas, some self-doubt. We all are because we've all grown up in this culture, and this is created by our culture. That we have to compare ourselves with everybody else. We have to live up to these social standards. And if we don't, we're wrong, we failed, we're not good enough. And so, you know this. We're constantly feeling like we're not good enough. That's because of this. That's because of these cultural expectations that we all have. And we want to meet them, or we feel left out or crazy or different or alone. And isolation is so bad on the psyche. So you want to belong. You don't want to not belong. So you're trying so hard to meet these standards, but you don't know what they are. And so you're always feeling less than. Okay, this is affecting all of us. And it's really interesting because I talk to people all the time and they don't realize that this is all, creating anxiety, because they see insecurity as totally different than anxiety. It's the same thing. You're worried that you're not good enough. It's a fear, right? And some people think of, I had this one person last week come to me and say, Jodi, we should do something together because fear and anxiety, they kind of go together. I'm like, kind of. That's what they are, that they are together, right? They are the same thing. I keep saying that. It's the same hormones being released. So you help the same way, the same exact way. So I wanted to talk about being sensitive and then how to not let it take you down, how not let it take you over, overwhelm you, how you don't have to let people's negativity come into your heart, come into your head, come into your body at all. Okay, and there's two ways I like to tell people to do this. One is believe that it's not coming in. Okay, this is our biggest problem with being sensitive, that we believe that we could be taken down by this, that we could be affected by it. You believe it and it's true. You're sensitive to your own beliefs too. So if you believe that you're vulnerable to other people's negativity, you will be vulnerable to other people's negativity. I'm not saying that it's not real. It is totally real. You will really, really feel it. It's literal. It's physical. And yes, you do feel it, but we're still connected to our minds. There is still a power of our mind over matter. That doesn't mean, if we say it's in your head, that doesn't mean it's not real. It's not in your head. But it still could be created by your head. And that's good news. It's not bad news. It's good news because that means we have some control, and that means that we could do something about it. That we could use that power of our mind to fix it and stop those physical and other real symptoms, right? The real feelings of when you are around someone negative. So you have to believe that whether you're sensitive or not. I mean, sensitivity is such a beautiful gift. I am so grateful and thankful that I'm a sensitive person, because obviously this is what I do, right? This is what I do for my life, is I try to understand people so I can help them. And so I want to be empathic and I want to be sensitive. But when I was younger, it was it had a real negative, and it still does now, it has this negative connotation. Because if you're sensitive, you cry a lot, and you're kind of a crybaby, and like you take things too personally and all that kind of stuff. And so it's got this negative thing, and then people think that it's like a curse to be sensitive. And what about the incredible gift it is to be sensitive? That you could read someone's face and be there for them and help them. You could think about what they might need before they even know they need it, and people love that. I mean, people tell me that, like, I like to take care of people after surgery or something, have them come to my house and I kind of take care of them. Not necessarily my clients, I'm talking about my family, but they always are like so shocked. They're like, Jodi, you know what I need before I even knew I needed it. And that's the gift of being empathic. It's so awesome. So take the gift of it, because we all have this gift. We all have this ability, and you could practice it. It's like a muscle, sort of. That's a metaphor. It's not literally a muscle, but it's like that. The more you practice, the more skilled you get at it. And take the gift, but don't take the curse of it. Know that you can make a choice not to take that in if you don't want to, and that's going to protect you more than anything. Also, you can fill yourself up with light. And I like to think of this, like if I filled myself up with light and pushed that light out from me all kinds of ways, that light would be beaming out. Nothing's coming in at me. Nothing negative anyway is coming in at me, right? If I'm beaming out light, so if I meditate on light, fill myself up with it, beaming out from all sides, nothing is coming in. I'm not vulnerable, you see. Vulnerability is a belief. And when I was really anxious, I believed that I was vulnerable, and I got really upset about it. And it wasn't until I kind of thought about the soul and the light that we have and the invulnerability in our soul. Yes, physically we're vulnerable, but not in our absolute state, in that light state, we're not at all. And once I really believed that and took that in, it took that anxiety away, that somebody could hurt me, because that's temporary, right? Somebody could hurt me, but that's temporary. My light can't be hurt, my soul can't be hurt, and so that made me feel a lot better. And no matter what that is that happens to me, I get to make a choice on how to respond. And if I believe I don't have to take that into my heart, I don't take it in my heart. Okay, I'm human, so sometimes I do take stuff into my heart and I get upset. And I am very sensitive, so I'm not perfect. But at least I react like a normal person, and I feel really bad, but then I could take a step back once I validate myself, because I could just love myself through that, right? Kiss my hand, touch my heart. I could love myself through that. And then I could take a step back and realize this isn't about me, and I don't have to take that in, right? It's kind of like you could taste something a little bit. Like you don't have to eat it all the way. You could kind of take a little teeny bit on your finger or something like that and decide, nope, I'm not taking this in, right? So originally this radio show was about Find Your Purpose. I scheduled it 2 weeks ago, and I was like, people want to know about this, Find Your Purpose. And it went, and then Barbara asked me that question today about being sensitive, and I said, perfect. It goes together a little bit. Because, first of all, being empathic, all of us are sensitive to some degree. Maybe it's a continuum. I'm not really sure. I don't think about it that much. I just think we all have that ability, and if you want more of it, you could build your skills in it. Not getting the curse with it, because you believe that you can't be hurt. And so in that way, though, you could find your purpose, because you realize, people's pain and how you can contribute to helping them relieve it. Hi, Jeremy. And it really changes. It's like transforming pain to purpose. When people go through a lot of pain and then for some reason transform it into helping other people, like people who lose children and then fight to create, to build, to protect whatever danger that happened to their child. And like they're putting that pain into some kind of purpose that might be helping other families. And it's so powerful, like Adam Walsh's family, remember that? And then they started the whole, trying to help other families. And so you transform your pain to some kind of purpose. And when you're sensitive, it helps that, right? So finding your purpose is something that we all want. I've talked to a lot of people lately, and if we're caught up in our anxiety or stress or depression, a lot of times we pull back from life because we can't do the things we were doing, or we're too afraid to, or they're just overwhelming, or we don't have the energy, we're too exhausted. There's a lot of reasons. Or physically, we might, our body's been weakened by whatever, chronic illness or the anxiety or whatever. And so we pull back from the things that we're doing in our life, and we're pretty isolated, number one. Terrible way to be. If you're not feeling well, do not be isolated, because it makes everything worse. That's number one, totally isolated. Number two, we have no purpose, right? We've lost our purpose because all of our focus now is on the anxiety and on helping the anxiety, but without that purpose, we have nothing else to take us out of our head, and we stay in our head. So we're isolated, that we can't get out of our head by talking to other people. And then we have nothing to do. So all you think about is the anxiety all day. So it's very difficult. You want to have some kind of purpose to your life. You want to have some kind of purpose to do, to get out of your head and contribute somehow. Transform the pain that you've gone through in your life, or the struggle or anything, and transform that into helping other people. And we see examples of this happening all the time, and those people are so happy. Right? They're not stuck in their pain. They're not stuck in their anxiety. I guess I'm a good example of it, right? I went through all this anxiety, and because I was so lonely when I was young, I was so isolated, and I felt so misunderstood, I made that commitment. I read, who likes Leo Buscaglia? Who out there, give me a thumbs up, or a lot of them, if you like Leo Buscaglia. He's an author. High fives. Yes. Give me a thumbs up. Give me hearts. Come on, hearts. Nobody knows the author Leo Buscaglia. He wrote the book called Love. My favorite book when I was in high school, because I just opened right up. It just opened me right up. But in the book, he talks about just being with people and holding their hand. Like the most loving thing you could do when someone's in pain. Not fix it, but just hold their hand. And so I thought of that, like metaphorically and in a big way, thought of how I could hold somebody's hand in life, because I knew what it was like to not have anyone hold my hand. I think I painted this picture when I was in high school of it was a sunset on the water, and there was all these ripples, and there was this hand sticking up, there was a drowning person, and and I hear people say that over and over, make a metaphor of that they feel they're drowning and they want someone to grab them and lift them up. I know exactly how you feel, because I felt that way. I drew it. I probably have it somewhere. That'd be really cool if I found it, but I felt like that. So I know exactly how you feel. And, then when I had to lift myself up, really. It was interesting because I was watching How I Met Your Mother. I never saw this episode of How I Met Your Mother. I think it's right before the final season, the second last season at the end, when they're down in the well. Oh my God, go get this. I'll put it in the comments what the title of the episode was. Or I can maybe look it up while I'm on here. But it was you want someone to lift you. You think somebody is keeping you trapped in the bottom of this well, and you realize it's just you. And you're the only one who can send that ladder down to lift yourself out. It's so remarkable. But finding your purpose, that's what it is. Something that lights you up, something that charges you, that makes you feel like you got something to do in this life. There's a point of having suffered, because now you can eliminate the suffering of other people. And I know a lot of you who are watching right now feel that way. and do that. And do that for other people. I have a caller on, so I am going to take that call and talk to this person for a few minutes, and then I'll take some questions on. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's. I could talk so much, right? It's 6:22. Where did that time just go? Okay, let me answer this. I always have to figure out how to answer it. It's like I can't remember. Here we go. Hello, you're on the air with Jodi.
Hello, Jodi.
Yes.
Jodi, this is Helene.
Hi, Helene. How are you tonight?
I'm fine. I wanted to call you and thank you for the encouragement and being there for me when I was really low.
Oh, your voice sounds really good this week. How are you doing?
I'm doing a little bit better. I'm having some issues with my back, but out of that, I'm doing better.
Well, you are very, very welcome. Yeah, I always think about you, Helene, and I know that there's a lot of ups and downs in life, and so, you know, you always hang in there till you're back up again.
I am. Matter of fact, you are a very much a blessing to my life.
Oh, you're so kind. You're so kind, and you're a good person, and you give just equally to everyone else around you.
Well, you gave me hope this past week.
Oh, good.
And that's what I wanted to call and tell you. I thank you for all that you are doing for all of us, even the ones that are dealing with some bad anxiety.
Yeah.
And I realize that I have a little bit of it, and I just wanted you to know I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take the time out to listen to me.
And thank you so much for taking all your time to encourage me. And
Okay,
yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You go.
I wanted to know if you knew anything about scoliosis.
I don't. I'm so sorry. I don't know anything about it, you know, healing it or, you know, anything. No. Sorry about that.
Well, that's okay, because that's part of my anxiety.
Okay.
Because I'm going through it right now.
Yeah. Well,
That's
any
my
kind of physical,
challenge.
right, any kind of physical issue.
You have a blessed night and a blessed week.
Okay, thanks, Helene. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So sweet. Aw. She's the sweetest. Yeah, whenever you have a health issue or a pain or some physical thing going on, this is why anxiety is so incredible, is that it comes along with every other problem. Right? It's why it's so pervasive. It comes along with every other problem, and it becomes its own problem. Right? That's why it's so much trouble. Oh, Sheila's saying hi, Helene. All right. Anyone have any questions online? I think there was one back here. So Marcia says, how can I trust that I'll be able to calm myself when doing exposure practice to retrain my brain because I dread feeling horrible while facing things alone that I've avoided? Marcia, don't do it alone. Find somebody to do it with you. First of all, build your confidence first. Do it virtually. Like in your home, where you feel safe, where you feel okay. Close your eyes and imagine yourself a little bit in that scary situation. Don't do it too much. Start small. Like exposure's not go face in and just bam. You know, exposure is this gradual thing. And get help. You know, get help from a counselor. Work with me, whatever you have to do. Come to my anxiety group. I have another group starting, everybody. Everybody have another group starting next week. I also have this amazing retreat in June, and I will share more. If you follow me, I'll share more about it on Facebook and on by email. So I'm going to tell you more about that. Up on the top of this, I do have an anxiety test. I have this whole, it's email and PDF of like all of these tips for different things that happen with anxiety. So you could go to anxiety test, think about what markers you have, and then get this email and find out what to do about each of them. So Marcia, do it gradually. Don't go like you're gonna get slapped in the face out there with it. Do something really gentle. Start virtually. Then have a friend go with you. Once you start to build confidence up. So when you do it virtually, don't just go and get scared. You have to talk yourself down, right? You have to do a little bit, make yourself feel safe. Do a little bit more, make yourself feel safe. Do a little bit more, make yourself feel safe, right? Gradually. And you're already stopping that trigger, right? Before you even go. It's awesome. It's safe, right? You could do it in your imagination first. It totally helps. And then you could get a little bit more, a little bit more daring. Go outside your comfort zone a little bit. Have a friend with you. Then take another little step. Don't do it all at once. That's why it feels so overwhelming. All right. Thanks, Marsha. Do I practice with others till it feels like no big deal and then go on by me? Yes. Yes. So the final step would be doing it by yourself, but you'd be fine by then. If you do it gradually enough, because from where you are to where you want to be in life, if that gap is so big, you can't just jump. You have to transverse it gradually. That's why it's different, taking steps. That's why all kinds of, my program is like, I've like 6 steps to healing anxiety. That's my book. That's my program. There's 6 steps. That's what I go through in my anxiety group. Right? That's what we'll do in the retreat. These 6 steps, you have to kind of go, you go gradually. And mine switch around, like it's a 3rd step before you're learning any skills. Because I know people have skills, right? And I'm just bringing out the ones I already have. But I know I have to take down the power of anxiety first. And so that's why my program is different than other people. So yeah, you want to take down the power of anxiety first. Understand it biologically. Learn the lies that it tells. Cultivate your control, forgive yourself, repeat affirmations, and practice daily rituals. 6 ways, 6 steps to healing from anxiety. So, anybody have any questions about my anxiety group? My last group ended. It was so awesome. We really, really loved it. We got very, very close because it was a nice small group. But now my anxiety group comes with my online program, my 5-week online program. So you get both of it. You get both things. And so, you're going to want to jump in on that. Jump in on that. JodiAmon.com/group. If you want to join my group, I would love to have you. I start on March 21st. It's awesome. Okay, everyone, I'm getting to the end of the radio show now. I am so happy to have spent this evening with you. It's been awesome and a complete and total pleasure. Now that I have my office here and it's ready, I'm going to have guests on the show that is going to teach you a lot of great other things, a lot of other things that people are talking about that's going to help us heal, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Not every week, but sometimes. And so it's awesome. Awesome. KeepCalmRadio.com. That's where you'll find me all the time. Mondays at 6 p.m. KeepCalmRadio.com. And if you want more from me, you could come on over to my website, JodiAmon.com. If you want to take that anxiety test and get tons of tips on how to help yourself with anxiety, go to JodiAmon.com/test. All right. Love you all. Talk to you next Monday at 6 p.m.